clone question from Nanyang Primary P6 Prelim paper in 2020, question number 11 of paper 1. Now this is a very common question in P5 and P6, and it has appeared in the PSLE paper in 2019 and many other school exam papers as well. So the concept to solve for such questions is very simple. To find the fraction that is the nearest to 3/5, you would just have to find the gap between each of these options here and 3/5. The one with the smallest gap is the one that is the nearest. Now, how do we find the gap between each of them? So this will mean that you have to find the difference between each of this option here and 3/5, and the one with the smallest difference is the one with the smallest gap, and of course it will mean that it's the nearest to 3/5. So now let's compare each of these options. Now for the first one, we have 11 out of 35. So to compare with 3/5, you will need to make their denominators the same. So I'll multiply that by 7. I will get 21 out of 35. So to find that difference, I will use 21 out of 35 to take away 11 out of 35. And that gives me 10 out of 35. And we can express this in the simplest form, and we will get the answer to be 2 out of 7. Now for the second option, we have 14 out of 15. So to compare them, again, we need to make that denominator the same. So we'll multiply by 3 to 3/5, and we get 9 out of 15. And then we can proceed to find that difference by using 14 out of 15 to take away 9 out of 15. And we'll get the answer to be 5 out of 15. And in the simplest form, we'll get 1/3. And then for the next option, we have 1. So to find the difference between 1 and 3/5, simply just 5 out of 5. Take away 3/5, and that gives us 2/5 as the answer. And then for the last option, we have to make that denominator the same again. So you have to times 9 times 9, and you get 27 out of 45. And so we can find that difference by using 27 out of 45 to take away 17 out of 45. And that gives us 10 out of 45. And if we express this in the simplest form, we'll get the answer to be 2 out of 9. Now remember, just now we said that we want to look at that difference and see which of this difference gives us the smallest. So we have these options over here: 2 out of 7, 1/3, 2/5, and 2 out of 9. Now you can see that out of these 4 fractions over here, 3 of them have the same numerator. So it will be easier for us to compare the fractions if we were to change the 1/3 to the same numerator also. So we'll multiply this by 2, and we'll get the answer to be 2 out of 6. So now we have this option here: 2 out of 7, 2 out of 6, 2 out of 5, and 2 out of 9. So since we are comparing the denominator because their numerators are the same, you will need to understand that the bigger the denominator is, the smaller the fraction it is. So if you look at these 4 fractions over here, you will see that the one with the biggest denominator is 2 out of 9. So that will mean that 2 out of 9 is the smallest fraction among the 4 of them. So since it's the smallest fraction, and this is the difference between 17 out of 45 and 3/5, so 2/9 is the smallest gap between the 2 of them. So the answer for the fraction that is the nearest to 3/5 is 17 out of 45. So our answer to this question is option number 4.